In 2024, at school, Nikolai is suddenly shoved against a wall by Victor, who demands he erase the message Nikolai wrote on the blackboard. Anastasia dated Nikolai for a week but cheated on him with Victor, and Nikolai exposed her publicly. When he refuses to delete it, Victor assaults him and drags him into the hallway. At the same time, on the moon's far side, an alien courier ship emerges. The pilot arrived in this solar system by mistake and is fired. While flipping through radio channels, he accidentally picks up a signal from Fema, Nikolai's best friend, who's playing video games. The pilot contacts Fema, who becomes instantly famous as the first human to speak with aliens. This contact enables Earth to join the Star Federation, marking the dawn of a new historical era. Technology skyrockets, with lab-grown organs now available. Earth becomes a popular travel destination for aliens from across the galaxy. But things go south in 2110 when a war erupts after someone is shot on the Federation's border. The Pirate Alliance, led by Glot, who can time travel and has psychokinesis, are the antagonists. Each time they lose, Glot rewinds time to reveal enemy plans to his troops, giving them victory. Earth sends a special team deep into enemy territory, where Kira battles Glot directly. She defeats him but loses her life in the process. Kira's daughter Alice, who attends the same school as Nikolai a century later, trains with her father's robot Werther in the forest using a pirate hologram. She wears high-tech gauntlets that let her fight the simulation and defend herself. Though clearly skilled, Alice can't win and is ultimately defeated. Determined, she asks to restart the simulation. Focused on tactics, she doesn't notice her father Igor behind her and accidentally punches him. At home, while treating Igor's nosebleed, she's scolded for her lack of focus in class. Igor asks about the gauntlets, and Alice explains the cadet academy sent them and may recruit her. Igor is opposed, but Alice insists she wants to find her mother. Since Kira's body was never recovered and pirates manipulate time, Alice believes her mother may be trapped in the past. When Igor argues Kira would have sent word, Alice shows him a tree marked with a heart. Werther dated it 100 years old. Alice believes it's her mother's sign. Igor dismisses this, and Alice storms off to her room. Werther scans her, detecting signs of depression, but she brushes it off and asks him to run the recognition software again. She hopes to spot her mother in old photos, but past attempts failed. Today, she notices a woman named Margarita, a 2024 teacher. In that time, Anastasia records Victor continuing to beat up Nikolai. Their fight moves back to class, interrupted by physics teacher Margarita. Later, Nikolai's mom is summoned to school over his behavior. She takes his devices and forces him to clean the board. Fema stays to help, but since Nikolai used paint, wiping it isn't easy. Nikolai sneaks into a locked lab, searching shelves when items fall as if magnetized. Water in one object ripples near a wall photo, so he moves it and finds a hidden compartment. Inside is a heavy box that makes his nose bleed. A drop of blood lands on the box, making it glow. When Nikolai opens it, he finds a glowing orb that leaps into his hand and enters his body, triggering seizures. Fema runs for help as Nikolai hears a voice whisper, "The system." As he runs through the school, more voices echo, mentioning his and Alice's names and warning of death. The hallway warps around him, and he is teleported. Outside, still dazed, he asks a passerby for help but is disturbed by their bizarre helmet. He then runs into Alice, who thinks he's a threat and knocks him down. The impact clears his vision, and Alice apologizes, helping him up. Nikolai asks for an ambulance and explains he lost his phone, raising her suspicions. After inspecting his clothes and ID, Alice realizes he's from the past. She tells him to look around. When he does, he notices futuristic tech. She explains the year is 2124, and Nikolai faints from the shock. Meanwhile, in a high-security prison, Pirate Jolly takes down guards until he reaches Glot's cell. He claims he was made the new pirate leader but can't claim the role while Glot is alive. Aiming his weapon, Glot interrupts. Cosmian is coming and may help them win, so they strike a deal. They seal their pact with a coin handshake that marks their skin. Jolly fires but Glot is unharmed, proving the pact works. Jolly unlocks the cell, but guards arrive. Glot uses mind control to make one guard kill the other, then forces him to self-terminate. Back in 2124, Nikolai wakes in Alice's house and panics as Werther scans him. Alice dismisses the robot and shows him around. She tells him about flying cars and how humanity solved climate change. When Igor returns and meets Nikolai, he takes him to his lab to examine him. They find a piece of rare matter inside, likely cosmium. Igor panics, asking where Nikolai found it. When he mentions the lab, Alice connects the dots to Margarita and demands answers. Igor gives her a letter left by Kira for her family. It explains that cosmium allowed Glot's time travel, and Kira took it in their final fight. She hid in 2014 under the alias Margarita to keep it safe. Though she longed to return, she stayed to protect humanity, hoping her loved ones would understand. Alice, furious at Igor's deception, runs off. Igor starts to chase her, but Nikolai offers to go instead. After they leave, Igor receives a paper letter, rare in this era. The letter instructs him to open it at 10 p.m. Outside, Nikolai looks for Alice with Werther, who warns he must avoid meeting his future self to prevent time disruptions. As Werther moves on, Jolly and Glot ambush Nikolai and force him to his knees. When Werther spots them, Jolly fires, but the robot dodges and flies up to sound the invasion alarm. Red lights flash everywhere, and a strange circle forms in the sky. Jolly prepares to kill Nikolai to extract cosmium but gets interrupted when Alice attacks, though he quickly shoves her away. Alice and Jolly fight, and her gauntlets help her hold her own. Jolly's blade gets stuck in a tree, giving Alice the chance to grab his gun. Glot releases Nikolai to take control of Alice, but Jolly kicks and punches her, disarming her. Right then, Igor shows up and says the authorities are on their way. Nikolai grabs the weapon, and Glot instantly takes over, making him shoot Igor. As Alice rushes to her dad, cosmium activates inside Nikolai and warps the group to the past. A car almost hits Jolly, but he slices it with his blade. Another car speeds toward Glot, but he manipulates the driver to veer off. Jolly throws his blade at Nikolai, pinning his jacket to a car. Alice quickly frees him, and the teens flee as the car's owner confronts Jolly. Jolly knocks him down, and a loose door crushes him. Jolly starts hopping over vehicles to catch up to the teens. He corners them and stabs Alice, only to realize it's a hologram from Werther. In rage, he slashes the robot in half and checks on Glot, who's fixated on the sky circle. Annoyed by Jolly, Glot mind controls a biker to hit him. Jolly just laughs and notices Nikolai's jacket with his student ID was left behind. Nikolai takes Alice to Fima's apartment since his parents are away. Alice demonstrates her gauntlets to support the story, but Fima refuses to let them stay. He has a gaming tournament. Instead, Nikolai brings her to his house and lies to his mom, saying Alice is a lost tourist. In his room, he shares his rap lyrics and tries to kiss her, but she rejects him. Meanwhile, Jolly stops cars on the road asking for Nikolai's school. A taxi driver thinks Jolly wants a ride, enters the address into GPS, and asks for upfront payment, prompting Jolly to threaten him. The driver flees, and Jolly messes with the car until it reverses and crashes. He grabs the phone and follows the GPS directions on foot. The crash hits the news, including cell footage of Jolly. Kira sees the footage on TV and grabs her old gear. The next day, Nikolai takes Alice to school, where they're intercepted by Victor and Anastasia, who's mad at her ex for moving on. As she rants, Nikolai sees Kira and follows her to share what he knows about Cosmian and her daughter. Suddenly, Jolly arrives, throws the receptionist over the desk, and smashes the turnstile. Anastasia sees Alice's glowing gauntlet and hides with Victor. Jolly recognizes Kira, and the receptionist triggers the fire alarm. Kira begins fighting Jolly, revealing her gauntlets and proving she's as legendary as rumored. Jolly is tough, so Alice joins the fight to support her mom. They exchange a meaningful look and team up, but Jolly still overpowers them. He throws Kira through a door and slams Alice into a window. Kira uses the door as a weapon to distract him while Alice leads students out. Kira continues fighting and eventually knocks Jolly down to escape. The group hides in her classroom and piles desks at the door. Jolly breaks the window but can't fit, so he cuts a hole in the wall. Kira confronts him again and warns that Glad is just using him and will betray him. Nikolai tries to focus and activate Cosmian, but keeps failing, until Alice kisses him, which helps. Cosmian powers up and surrounds the group in energy. Kira kicks Jolly back through the wall as they vanish. In the future, the group arrives in a ruined world. A robot enters and Kira destroys its mask, revealing Werther. He guides them and explains everything. Gila-D controlled FEMA, preventing him from getting the alien message, so Earth missed its chance with the Star Federation. GLAD used FEMA's computer to lure the pirates first. Now humans are their labor force. Werther leads them to a flat where they find Jolly, now with a prosthetic hand. Jolly says he saved Werther and offers food as proof he just wants to talk. Betrayed by GLAD as Kira predicted, he seeks revenge but can't act due to their pact. When he mentions Cosmian, Kira attacks, but he insists he only wants freedom. She agrees to a truce if he helps stop GLAD in exchange for amnesty. He shares the plan. They need to stop GLAD in the past and have 1 hour to reach the moment Nikolai opens the rift. Nikolai suggests using his powers now, but Jolly says GLAD can detect Cosmian's waves, so they must wait. A pirate drone appears at the window for its monthly check. Jolly swaps his fake hand for a real one from the fridge. The robot scans it and leaves. Jolly shows Kira his weapon stash while Nikolai takes Alice to the roof and asks her on a date. Alice says yes, and they kiss. Kira interrupts to go over more plans. The teens mention Igor's death, hoping to reverse it. Jolly says it happened post-rift, so it can't be undone. Jolly leaves with Kira and Nikolai. Alice stays to protect FEMA, Victor, and Anastasia. FEMA starts to doubt things. If GLAD sees all, this must be a trap. GLAD likely wants Jolly to wipe out rival pirates before stealing Cosmian. Alice fears for Nikolai, but FEMA and Anastasia say not to act rashly. Victor gives a passionate speech and grabs a grenade. The trap theory proves true when the trio is surrounded. Kira and Jolly fight off pirates while protecting Nikolai. He hides in a bus, but a pirate follows. He dodges as best he can but is captured. Alice crashes in to save him, but the pirate chokes her. Nikolai hits the pirate with a metal bar. When reinforcements arrive, Victor throws the grenade and wipes them out. The blast also collapses a building, but Nikolai saves the group just in time. Back in the past, they land safely. Anastasia wants to kiss Nikolai for saving her, but he stops her. He sends FEMA to get the signal before leaping back to the future. Alice hides him while Kira and Jolly hold off the pirates. They getting overwhelmed, so Jolly shoves Kira inside to stall the attackers. He's stabbed many times but defeats the pirates before falling. Werther approaches to say goodbye. Then Glot arrives and watches Jolly die, as his mark fades. Back in the past, Glot is at the computer first. He makes FEMA punch Victor, then uses Victor to tackle Anastasia. In the future, Nikolai's team reaches the flat. He activates Cosmian, stopping Glot from killing FEMA. Kira tries to fight back, but Glot uses Anastasia to make her strike the girl. Then he manipulates Alice to knock out Nikolai, closing the rift. Nikolai and Alice are stranded with future Glot, who forces Alice to choke him. Meanwhile, past Kira is attacking the others. When Nikolai dies, Glot extracts Cosmian. Alice does CPR with no results, until she uses a gauntlet shock to revive him. Past Glot tries to make Kira self-delete, but FEMA whacks him with a Thor prop. Kira recovers and slashes his neck, which scars future Glot. Nikolai sees this as hope, but Glot starts the time gap to make them watch Kira die. Nikolai throws future Glot into past Glot, causing disarray. Kira only gets a minor wound. Glot seeing himself causes a continuity collapse. The Glots multiply but are destroyed when Cosmian releases powerful energy. It seems over, but Cosmian needs a host. It releases a wave that hurts everyone. Kira pushes through to reach it, but Nikolai gets there first and absorbs it. Before resetting time, he apologizes to Alice for missing their date. He floats in space beneath the energy circle, then falls rapidly back to Earth. He wakes up in his apartment, sees his friends, and faints. Later, he's in the hospital with his mom and friends. FEMA confirms the signal arrived and time is fixed. Nikolai no longer has Cosmian, so he won't see Alice again. In the future, Alice, Kira, and Verda reunite with Igor in a rebuilt city. The real Igor got a letter from Nikolai warning him. The Igor that died was a hologram. The famous tree is planted by Nikolai and friends, and the heart was drawn by him as a message to Alice. Subscribe and enable notifications for more videos. Thanks for watching.